Hello, everyone. This is Tony and Christine from the Refinement Not Retirement podcast. And we're here to talk to you today about our latest vegan travel experience. Right, Christine?
Yes, I thought you were going to say our vegan travel experts here.
No, we wouldn't call ourselves experts yet, would we?
No, that's for sure.
Well, I don't know. You're pretty much the expert. You do all the arranging of the travel. You
Yeah.
always have done, even before we were vegan. And then I dropped a spanner in the works, and we went vegan. But that's another story. We won't talk about that now. You can check out that our going vegan story from previous episodes. You'll see how Christine reacted when I broke the news to her that I had decided to become vegan, and the developments from there. So do check out those previous episodes. They're very clear from the title of the episode. So traveling, well, first of all, going vegan, we regard as a mega life refinement. And also you can find out all about that from our previous episodes too. But it really particularly it makes making travel plans, shall we say, more interesting. Christine's the master of that, and always does our vegan travel plans, spends a lot of time, a lot of care arranging our trips, fantastic trips. Some of them are easier than others because we use a company called Vegan Travel out of
Yeah, I was
Germany.
just going to say that. Yeah, that's when that happens, then that's absolutely fine.
So it's when we're on our own. Well, you can talk a bit about vegan travel in a moment, but when we're on our own, as we were for this latest trip that we took, uh, it's more challenging. So this latest trip was to the literally just come back. Was to the Greek island in the Ionian Sea of Zante. Zante is the Italian name. The Greek name is Zakynthos. That's spelled with a Z, Zakynthos. Zakynthos. I have I've been unable to obtain or find a simple explanation as to why it has two names, a Greek name and an Italian name. I believe that the Italian name seems to be the more common one. It's certainly a bit easier to say and spell, Zante, Zante. But I can't really find a satisfactory explanation as to why it has dual names, unless you know better, Christine.
I don't, but I know that the airport says Zakynthos. It
Hmm.
actually doesn't say Zante, and all flight details or travel um, brochures or anything all says Zakynthos. So that's the sort of seems to be the abbreviated short name.
Well, Zakynthos
Can you
is
hear me
abbreviated.
okay with this?
Yeah, I can hear
No,
you okay.
Zante. No, I mean, why
Sante.
do people call it Zante? I
Yeah.
seem to be having an
Anyway,
echo in my ear. I can hear myself. I'm not quite sure what's going on. I
no,
wonder
I'm
if
not
I've got them
sure.
in the wrong ear.
Anyway, let's press ahead. We've been to Zante before, and when Christine sorts out her audio situation, no doubt she'll chip in here. But the I'm not sure how she. Can you say how you first chose Zante for our first trip there was in 2022.
Yeah. Well, it was basically because I was looking for somewhere in Greece to go, one of the islands, and then I would write to email all the hotels and uh, asked if they had a vegan menu. And this Sante Blu, which is a leading hotel of the world, um, uh, came up, and the reservations manager sent me a copy of the vegan menu. So that was kind of sold to us, really.
So we'll talk a bit more about the specific hotel in a moment, but you mentioned something there about you email the hotels and ask them if they have a vegan menu. So
Yes,
one thing that we've learned is that you have to go a bit further than that, don't you? Previously we used to say, "Can you cope with vegans?" basically, and of course everybody says they can. So can you
that's
comment?
why I've changed it to menu, because as you said, they'll say yes when you get here. Meet with our executive chef, and we'll go through what we can provide. What do you like to eat? And so I would send an email with, the types of food we eat, and then it just all became such hard work.
Well, all they do is
It,
that they tend to say, yes, we can do, we can certainly no problem catering for vegans. But what they do
yes,
is they take their traditional dishes, the ones that they always cook with meat and
yeah,
fish
and
in
then
them, and then they
cut
take
out the
out the
meat and
stuff
the
that tastes
dairy. Yeah,
the taste. Basically, they cut out the most tasty bits. And vegan cuisine, plant-based cooking requires more refinement than that, doesn't it? I mean, it requires somebody who really is enthusiastic about preparing something that's going to be tasty, and not just, plonking a lot of vegetables or salad stuff on a plate without any thought for the blend of tastes.
yes,
So what we have found is that where an establishment like a hotel has a separate vegan menu, then that shows that they have put thought into it, and they have settled on plant-based dishes which are popular with their vegan customers.
yeah, and I was talked to the beverage manager um, this year, and she said, I said, do you get many vegans? And she said, oh yes, we have quite a lot. Which, because I was, thinking, can they justify having a separate vegan menu? And she said, absolutely, because there's more and more people coming that want that. And I hope you can hear me okay, because there's something not right with my audio,
Definitely,
which
you are loud and clear
okay.
from this end.
Okay, well, I'm having problems what I'm hearing, so I can't. I don't think feels right to me, but I'll keep going. But
Okay, well,
it's not very good for me.
we'll soldier on if we can, and then we'll check it out before we publish it that it's good enough. But so we had been to this hotel before. It's now just it's actually called Le Sante, and it's not to be confused with the name of the island, because this Sante is spelt with an S, isn't it? Le, like the
Yes,
French le, L-E,
or one
Sante.
word.
It's two words.
This, yeah,
Le
no, Lasante is one word. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, okay. So Le Sante is one word, you're saying. The Sante bit is Sante, whereas the island is Zante. And then it's got another word, blue, BLU, Le Sante Blu Hotel. And we had it's really a charming boutique hotel, very
And adults only.
adults only, which was something that we regard as important, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. They've got a sister hotel on the island called the Cape, the Zante Cape, but that's more family orientated. Well, it is family orientated.
Yeah, so you can have children there, but I think you've got to be 17 or up here, haven't you?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
So that side of it was important to us because we have been to hotels which are family hotels, and of course we've got children and grandchildren, and that's great for those sort of trips. But for when we're going away ourselves, we prefer to avoid places with lots of children. Well, really means you've got to go to an adult only place. I remember, for instance, we went to that hotel. I can't remember the name of it at the moment. That was opposite the Spinalonga Island on.
it was the Doms. The Doms. It was a
Doms.
Marriott hotel called the
What
Doms.
and what island was that? That was Crete, was it?
Crete,
Crete,
yeah, in Nilunda.
and that was a lovely hotel too. But there's a episode about that you can find where we talk about Spinalonga, the leper island that's right opposite where the hotel is. But that was really a little bit spoilt, wasn't it, by just the sheer number of children. I mean, going into breakfast was like going into a school, really. I mean,
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
it was
it's a bit
very
stressful,
noisy
wasn't it?
and stressful. So this was the Sante Blu is adults only, but it's really more than that. It's a very special hotel. The staff I mean, they just can't do enough for you. They're so attentive, and they want you to feel special. They remembered us, didn't they? The staff
Yeah, which
remembered
was
us,
lovely,
which
really
was very
lovely.
nice. Um, and it's in a fantastic setting, isn't it? I mean, it just lovely. It faces the Greek island of Kefalonia, which I think we're thinking about going to next because we've heard good things about Kefalonia.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
where we were on this hotel is right opposite that. You can see it from the hotel, and that makes the sort of the already beautiful view even more interesting and beautiful. Uh, the you eat certainly we had our dinners outside, didn't we? And
Well, it was ridiculously hot. Yeah.
yeah, and most of our breakfast too. But it was so hot, so hot. I mean, we were in the late 30s a lot of the time, and edged into the early 40s at times. So we really had to camp out in the pool a lot. Uh, it was when we went before. I think we went in September time,
Yes, we did.
and
Yeah.
this heat wave, I think they told us, was unusual for them at this time of year. Certainly, last time it was quite a bit cooler. And but this time we couldn't walk because we found a walk last time that we did most days, probably every day. But this time we attempted it, and I think we lasted about 20 to 30 minutes. And we did it first thing in the morning, like at 8 o'clock. And still we couldn't cope with it. So it was very, very hot. But the pools are, the pool is lovely. I mean, it's just gorgeous. We did make a bit of an error, I think, didn't we, in choosing a suite? Do you want to talk about that?
Well, yeah, I think the last time we went, I wanted a pool because some of the suite, they're all called suites, had a they have separate, you can have your own pool, and in fact they didn't have one left, and the reservation manager said to me, look, it's not a big deal, the rooms are all the same. And so I thought, oh, then I saw that they had hot tubs, and thought, oh well, that would be quite nice, to sit on our terrace and have a hot tub. So we had a lovely suite with a hot tub, tiny hot tub, um, supposedly a two-seater, but you could barely fit in it with your long legs. And But looking over Kefalonia, which was lovely, and we hardly ever used it because it was too hot. But people were telling us that had got their own pools said we weren't missing much because none of them had views, so they were made private lower down with the next set of buildings in front of them. So it wasn't really very enjoyable for people to sit by their own pool because they had no view. You couldn't see anything. So I guess from that point of view, it was probably just as nice, but we would have been better off just having a regular terrace and no hot tub or pool, because we went down to the pool and the beach every day, private beach. The sea was glorious. You don't like it, but
I don't like
it
swimming in the
was.
sea. No,
No, and I love
but
it,
you do, so
absolutely
that's
love
nice.
it. It's glorious, yeah. So it was like a mill pond every day. So yeah, it was yeah, very very special, but extremely hot.
In the evenings, they transform the area around the pool into a lovely sort of fine dining restaurant. And the view of the sunset, the sky, the setting sky is just amazing, amazing. It's a fantastic sight. They also have what they call live music, uh, which sometimes is entirely live. I think on maybe one, two occasions it was entirely live. But I'm not, you know, I like playing a bit of music myself, and I like singing. I don't like um, when musicians use backing tracks. They play the violin or whatever, and then they have the rest of it on a backing track. Because
Yeah, which is a shame because they're
yeah, it
brilliant
is a shame.
musicians,
I
saxophonists,
understand. Yeah,
pianists,
yeah,
violinists.
they
But
are.
yes, but
I understand why they do it because it's a cost thing, obviously. But to me, it just sort of takes it takes something away because what's the point if you've got 90% of it on a tape?
Yes.
But the atmosphere that it creates with live music is fantastic. The acoustics there are amazing, and it was really made the dinners special. So let's just quickly talk about the sort of things that we would eat. So let's start in the morning. Maybe probably the least they did the least uh, good job, I suppose, at breakfast. Although breakfast was very enjoyable. This again, the setting was lovely up on the sort of the terrace, so you could either choose outside or inside if you found it too hot. But
Which we
always
did
with
a few days, didn't we? We
we
had to
did.
sit inside with the air conditioning because it was so hot. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, I think it's in the breakfast time that we had a bit of a challenge. First of all, we had, as we always do, pre-warn them that we were coming just to make sure that they had their vegan uh, products available. But they could, first of all, they couldn't find, even though you had clarified that they had vegan sausages to go with our cooked breakfast, they pretended, well, not pretended, but they didn't know they had them or something. But they did produce them very quickly, which was nice. But we had to there was nothing really on the standard fare, certainly not on the menu that they brought around that was suitable for the vegans,
Well, there
which
was
is a bit odd.
bruschetta. There was bruschetta
Well, that's a weird bruschetta is a
for
very weird
breakfast.
breakfast
Well,
item.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
But on the regular things, there was lots of eggs and salmon and just that sort of thing,
Yeah.
bacon and all that. But they hadn't really thought about an equivalence for people on a plant-based diet or a vegan diet. Um, but they did cook us something. They did cook us something so that we had the vegan sausages, which were the Beyond sausages. So they were very, very good. And we had mushrooms and tomatoes and baked beans. Um, and that was it, really. So if we wanted to have a cooked breakfast, that had to be essentially the same thing every day.
Yeah. I
So
mean, they cooked the bread every day freshly, so that was nice.
and
We'd
that was
have,
all vegan, wasn't it? Yeah, yeah,
bread and jam and marmalade and lots of
yeah.
variety of jams. And they did have some little vegan cakey things on the sort of pastry section, but no croissants or a huge array of
Yeah, no
incredible
vegan croissants. They
foods.
had regular
No,
croissants, but no
but yeah, but
vegan
just
croissants.
these tiny little vegan bites for lots of fresh fruit. So of course that was okay, um, and uh, you know all the
But
juices and
yeah, it was certainly good enough. But for a hotel that otherwise has a vegan menu in its restaurants, that just seemed a little bit as though they
yes, it
hadn't
was
quite
odd.
thought
It was
about
odd.
that. So I think
Yes,
if they could get that right, that would be a big improvement. Everything else, though, the lunches. So what did we have? I mean, they had a vegan on the menu. The vegan menu. They had pasta dishes with prawns, but not obviously uh, actual prawns, but plant-based prawns. Those sort of products now are really coming on fantastic. So we had plant seafood, if you like,
yeah, plant chicken, plant
linguine,
beef
plant
burgers.
chicken, yeah,
Yeah,
vegan burger, but also sushi, vegan sushi, which was
which you like,
one of
don't
my
you?
favorite
Yes,
things.
yeah.
So it was
Hummus,
good stuff, yeah,
bit of
hummus and
bread.
yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, it was so it was certainly the lunches and dinners. The vegan menu was great, and that's good. Uh, the, uh, so let's just talk for a moment about the booking of this holiday because you did it through JetBlue. It was one of their
No, it wasn't JetBlue. It was Jet2.
sorry, Jet2. Quite right. You did it through Jet2 with there, and it was one of their indulgent escapes. Can you just talk about that and your experience with that? Because
My cock up, to be honest, to my
well, I wasn't going to say
well,
that, but
I basically emailed the reservation manager I dealt with 2 years ago, and
at the hotel.
he at the hotel directly, and he
But this was before
um,
you dealt with Jet2, was it? Just to get it.
well, I was sort of playing around, really. I was going backwards and forwards. I was looking at how much the cost of the flight would be if we did it on its own and then direct with the hotel direct. And then I was looking at the package. And so I was sort of juggling around, and he came through with an offer, which I looked at as in pounds, not euros. And then I went on to Indulgent Escapes and looked at the exact same hotel, the exact same room, including flights. And I looked at it as if it was cheaper. So I thought, oh, that's crazy. Why would I do it one bit with him and the flights with them? And so I
So it looked as
them,
though. So hang on, just to be clear, it looked as though it
like
was
it was cheaper
cheaper
to do
with
it through Jet2
right. Okay, yeah,
as a package holiday, Indulgent, and we've done Indulgent Escapes with them before. So I
yeah.
thought, well, this makes sense. You get some vouchers and you get, fast pass through the airport and a couple of drinks on the plane, neither here nor there, but it all helps. And so I went and booked it. And then I realized that he had given us a repeat business discount, and it was in
You're not saying who he
euros.
is. Who's the he
Oh,
here?
sorry, the
Yeah,
reservation manager
yeah. Okay,
directly.
yeah, yeah.
And I looked at that, and then I converted it into pounds, and then added on the flights separately, and it came out as probably £600 to £800 difference. But I'd already gone and
Difference in which
package
direction?
deal.
Difference in which direction?
Difference in cheaper to go direct to the hotel and buy our own flights.
So what was the error then?
The error is that by booking it as a package with Indulgent, because it was £600 to £800 more expensive as an Indulgent package.
But originally you thought that was cheaper.
Yes.
But it turned out to be £600 to £800 dearer to go via Jet2 as opposed to JetBlue, than had you gone direct with the hotel.
Correct. Yeah. So I then contacted Jet2 and said, look, I've made a big mistake. Can I cancel? But I'd like to just do the flights with you.
Yeah.
And they basically said, no, go away, because there's no cooling off period. It was late. It was like 11 days before we were going. So it wasn't even in the cancellation area. And I think they do different levels of refund based on how many days it is before. And because it was a package, it doesn't fall into the category of a cancellation.
So in fact, you realised that you had miscalculated within, I think, a minute or two of making the booking with Jet2.
Yeah.
So we found it a bit. Well, we've had great experience with Jet2 in the past, and our holiday this time was a good experience too. But we found it disappointing that they weren't willing to within, since we told them that we'd made the error within minutes. We found it a bit disappointing that they were saying, no, we're not prepared to change anything. You're stuck with it. And in fact, on researching online, I seem to be getting the advice online that you had an automatic right to change your mind if the booking was online, but Jet2 took the position, turns out correctly, that oh yes, that certainly applies if it's not a package holiday, but since you booked one of our packages, that does not qualify. The government has excluded. That's a weird thing, isn't it? The government had excluded package holidays from that right to cancel. I mean, it has to be within a short period of time anyway, 2 weeks, I think, or something like that. But they wouldn't even though we'd brought it to their attention within minutes, they wouldn't change their minds on that. So that was disappointing. I think the direct, the going direct with the hotel would not only have saved £600 to £800, but also they provide benefits for going direct with them, room upgrades and things like that. Which so that there wasn't these vouchers and things that Jet2 provide really are neither here nor there. it would have been better to go direct with the hotel. We would have had a better transfer service too, although they both provide a transfer service to and from the airport. It's definitely higher grade with the hotel. So
Yeah,
it was
and let me just
disappointing.
add in, and we're members of the Leaders Club, and it would have meant getting points with Leaders Club, booking it direct with the hotel, which they will not do if you book it through an agent like Jet2. So I couldn't even get our points for staying there.
Yeah, so that when you say the Leaders Club, that is the leading hotels of the world, which this hotel is a member of, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a bit disappointing, but there it is. But it's a good lesson for our listeners to
Yes, it
maybe
is.
that if it's a package holiday, you just don't have that right. So it's always worth carefully checking whether you can get a better deal direct with a hotel, because after
Yeah.
all, Jet2 at the end of the day is an airline, and they didn't really provide anything else other than the travel to and there. The other bits, certainly they make arrangements for, but as I said, we could have got all that direct with the hotel. So that was
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
unfortunate. But for their bit, the flight Jet2 did, as they always did, to be fair, a very good job. So uh, all in all, it was great. The whole thing was great. I do want to give a shout out to the car company that we use. We traveled from Birmingham International Airport, and we even when we were going from London, we also use a local in the Cotswolds car company called Cotswolds Executive Cabs. Cotswold Executive Cabs.
I thought it was the other way around. It's executive.
It may be. I'm just looking at their website address, which is
Oh, okay.
cotswoldexecutiveCabs.uk. And it's a family business run by Steve and his wife Tina, and their son works there. And they always do a really great job for us. And they're 100% reliable in every way. They're reasonably
Yes,
priced.
they are. They're
And they're
fabulous.
great. So and they do tours, by the way. I know we have a lot of American listeners, and they like to come to the Cotswolds on tour. They do tours as well, which have great reviews. So do check them out, and we would encourage you to use them. So yeah, getting back to what do we think of the island itself, though? I mean, we only made one trip outside of the hotel, didn't we? Because everything was there that we needed, but we did fancy a change for a dinner, didn't we? So we went to
Yeah, we
the
went into Zante town, which is just a typical. I think that's the side where they call it the party side of it. You get a lot of youngsters that were on the plane that were all going that way, and it is known as a party island, but not the side we were on.
so the town is
Um,
actually called Zante, is it, or Zakynthos,
yes, no,
or
Zante
both?
town. I think yes, was
Okay.
Zakynthos town. Um, where they're all driving around on quad bikes and having accidents, and apparently they're looking at banning them there because of the death toll
Yeah.
of young people who just come onto the island, think they can never ridden a quad bike before, and crash and get killed. I mean, terrible. There was one, we even saw one when we were there, wasn't it, for the
Well,
evening? But
we were
we were,
delayed on our return journey from
yes,
Zakynthos
because of it.
town
But
to the
I
hotel. Yeah,
don't. Yeah, I wouldn't say the island is particularly attractive. I
let's
don't
just give a
didn't.
shout out though to the restaurant, because we went to a restaurant called Taste Taste of what was it?
Taste of
Yeah, no,
Yard, or was it Yard of Taste?
Yard of Taste in Zakynthos, Zante town, as Christine says. And it was they have a great vegan menu, and the owner, very nice, delightful woman whose name I don't can't remember, but it's a really nice place to be. It's a beautiful, pretty little restaurant, and she's very passionate about
She does
cooking,
the cooking,
and
actually.
it's not all vegan food, but she's a really great plant-based chef, and we had a really
Yes,
nice
that was very
evening
nice.
there.
Yeah, for a change, so that was
But
good. But
the island itself, you were going to say, and I think I stepped on
well,
you.
I just don't think it's a traveling to and from the airport. What we saw and going into the town is it's just just a island where people go because they want the sunshine and they want a holiday destination. But I wouldn't say it was a particularly attractive island. Not a lot to do there really, and that's why I think we're looking at Kefalonia next year, because it's apparently very lush and green and hilly and supposed to be very attractive. So I think that's why we're going to look at that going forward. Maybe
Well, we need it.
we've done
having been twice to Zante, I think that's,
don't think we need to
and
go
to
back,
the
do
same
we?
hotel, which is apparently the best hotel on the island, Sante Blu.
Yes.
I think we've probably done that one, exhausted the possibilities there. So it would be nice to try the other island, Kefalonia,
Yes.
next time. But we've got other trips that we'll be telling you about too. What have we got next? What's the next one that we've got? We've got a vegan. Have we got
Well,
a? I know we're going to do a road. Yes, we're going to do a road trip
yeah,
in France. We're thinking of driving to Annecy. We had a fantastic road trip last year in France, so we want to have that experience again. So we'll be doing that. What else? What else? We're going to Florida later in the year. So that also can be a little bit challenging. We'll be playing
yeah.
a lot of pickleball there. So we'll be telling you all about those things in future episodes. But I hope that you find some information here. I mean, certainly we met people at the hotel who great people there who we bonded very well with, and that was a very nice thing. Just the people that we met. No vegans though. I don't think we met any other vegans, did we?
No, we didn't. No,
No.
no.
But what the nice thing about vegan travel that you've mentioned, the other company, is that nearly everybody's vegan on there, and we have common experiences, and we can share ideas and places to go, which is a really nice thing.
Yes, and we've got some trips planned for next year, but we won't talk about those now. But that's for next year with vegan travel. We've already got 2 booked, so that's exciting.
Yep. And that makes
Yeah.
it so much easier going through vegan travel, doesn't it? Okay, well that's all for this time. Please do like and subscribe. It's free to subscribe, and so that you'll get information straight away. We talk about all kinds of subjects on our podcast. Certainly not just about veganism and not just about travel. All sorts of things, and all sorts of refinements that we've made to our life now that we are in refinement. But for now, that's everything from me. Goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye bye.
See you next time.
Bye bye.